AA, see you in church. Hi, I'm Manuel. For some reason, my phone didn't record, so I have to do this all over. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Write a little message afterwards. Give me your opinion and leave a subject that you'd like me to talk about. And put the hand up. I always do that at the beginning because I have the tendency to forget. And if I do it right away, and then, you know, that way I don't go back. What they were talking about is men's activists. And women did not understand why men would need to go down that road. Women, because you're all weaker. I always laugh at that one so much. Why? Because I was never brought up with weak women. I went all the way up to high school with strong women around me. I remember women bringing up their children different, and it had nothing to do with the man of the house. I remember a friend of mine, he cried, and his mother hit him so hard and told him, "You're a man. Men don't cry." And I looked at him and I felt really bad. And I told him, "I'm going home." And I went home because I didn't want to be adding to how he felt. I remember how gentle she was with her daughters, but with her one son, she was brutal. I saw that tremendously. Women beating into men to be men. Men don't cry. Men don't abuse women. And I kept watching that as I grew up in grammar. The way these people treat it, and I didn't believe in that. I never saw women as weaker people. I never saw a divide in black, white, Chinese, Mexican, any of these as inferior or different. That's not how I was brought up, and I'm not expecting you guys to have my mother as your mother. She brought up strong men, and that's why a lot of people say, "Well, that's why you're not effeminate." Well, no, I'm not effeminate because that's not who I am. The men that are effeminate is who they are. As I've grown, I've learned that. I've seen a group of strong men with one effeminate in the middle. And I saw how they were all brought up. The same, from the same mother. But there was still an effeminate one. She wasn't trying to, "Oh, come and help me do." No. He was one of the middle children, not the youngest. And I'm not telling you to blame women anything unless they deserve the blame. I was brought up with strong women, and then later on, there was a bully, and she was a woman, and she pushed people around. And I've never had the sense to treat women any different than I would have treated any of my other friends. I don't know why. I just always been that way. And she started trying to hit me. Well, I blocked her hitting, whatever. I didn't hit her, but I blocked it. But I did let her know, if you hit me, I will hit you back. I was brought up that way, to protect myself and keep myself safe. I go to the principal, and the principal wants to go and say, well, you have to blah, blah, blah. He gives me that bullshit about women are inferiors and all that kind of stuff. And I looked at him and I was like, okay, whatever. And then he started telling me about hitting that girl, a bully. And I went over and I said, look, stand right here. And he stand straight, the principal did, and I got up in his face. I said, okay, now swing a right at me. And he did, and I blocked him. I said, now swing a left at me. And he did, and I blocked him. And I said, now swing another right at me. And he did, and I blocked him. I said, that's what I've done. I said, now, if you want women to beat on you, that's your business. I wasn't brought up to allow anybody to beat on me, whether it was a woman or a man. It's just not the way I was brought up. My mother brought me up to respect men and women equally. And she taught me from the Bible, God does not make a difference except for in other places. He always says mankind, and it means men and women. It's just that most places have separated the information. The respect in the Bible is for both. The respect for the Bible is both, and always has been. Now, women can't make up their minds. Do you want to be equal to a man, or do you want respect? That's the difference. I was brought up to respect women, not to abuse them or be verbally abusive or whatever. But I also wasn't brought up to tolerate abuse from a woman. And I tell women that. And I've had many, many straight women go for the attempt to treat me the way they treat other men. I'm weaker. I said, no, you're not. I said, well, I shouldn't speak for you. You are weaker because you have put yourself in that position. And her eyes got all big. I said, but I wasn't brought up to think of you as a weaker person. And in the Bible, it does show that men are going to be stronger, but at the same time, they are meant to work together in a family way. And that's where they make their mistake. People are always trying to separate. I've known women that are stronger than me. I dated women when I thought the way everybody else did, that the Lord wants me to be straight. So I dated women. And everyone I've ever dated has always been smart and strong. Never weak. But that's my choice. Because I want a partner like they used to have in the Bible. They had a partner. Now, inferior or whatever, that's all in your mind. I've had so many inferior women get in my face. And the reason I'm using it that way is because that's how they saw themselves. I didn't, but I made it very, very clear. I'm not a straight man. I don't have to tolerate your bullshit because there's no way in hell I'm going to be sleeping with you. So these little games you play don't work on me. You hit me, I hit you back. But I'm a woman. That's right, you are a woman. But that does not legalize you to abuse me. And if you have a problem with that, that's yours. And the thing is I don't go around beating up on women, telling women they're inferior. Because, see, I know they're not. Who's telling women they're inferior? Women. I've known many, 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 many women, and none of those women that I was friends with were inferior women. They were brilliant, but see, that's the kind of people I have around me. I like around me. But that's me. I'm not telling you that you have to think my way. I'm just making the point that women have made it to the point where they are being given rights above the man. And because I'm gay, I take those rights away. Why? Because I'm not going to go and I'm not going to hit on women. I'm not going to go and I'm not going to start grabbing women. I'm not going to go and start beating on women. But I will protect myself. And that's the reality. Women have been given too much and men are tired of it. Women think they deserve. No, you don't. You don't deserve anything. You have to earn that. Women I respect, they've earned my respect. And women I do not respect, they've earned that also. I've worked with many, many, many strong women. And I've seen women, and there was that I Am or whatever it was called, where women were raped and blah, blah, blah. And I felt sorry for them until the women who screwed their way up the ladder for better jobs, for better this, for better that, then they ran out there. I was abused. No, you weren't. You had sex for a better part in a movie. You had sex for a better position in your workplace. Those were your choices. And that's when I stopped paying attention to that women's whatever. And here's Jubilee trying to show the men, and the women are there disrespecting the whole thing. Why would men need to? Well, they need it because you women are so selfish that you only care about yourselves. There's a movie called Serpico. It's an old movie. And this is when I was younger. There was this woman. She was an applicant for women and a real strong lawyer. And that guy sat there and listened and everything. And he says, "Can I tell you about something?" And she goes, "Yeah." And she goes, "That case that you're saying, well, that's me, except for I'm not a woman." And she goes, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, you know that movie Serpico?" And she goes, "Yeah." He says, I wrote it. And guess how much of that money comes to me? She goes, I don't know. Zero. Why? She goes, well, the court has given all that money to my child. He says, a woman came, had sex with me, I got pregnant, then went and got all that money. And she thought he was there going about the money. But he said, oh no, I don't care about that money. He can have all of it. I don't care. And she goes, well, what are you talking about? She goes, I have no rights to see my child. They say that's my child. They're taking all that money to him, but I can't see him. And then she said after that, here's my card. After this, we'll see if you don't get rights to see your child. See, she was doing what these women should have been doing, listening to the men. But no, they did not want to listen. They came for war. And that's all they were there for. They wanted to prove that men did not have to fight back. Well, you're angry. He wasn't angry. He just stood there in his little gray shirt, which I'm going to put that in YouTube. Not YouTube. Facebook. With this video, I'm going to transfer them both over there so that they're together. And you can watch it because it's on YouTube. And this will be on YouTube also. And to me, I thought was so strange. These women want so determined for men to understand, but they didn't want to understand. They really didn't. If you sit there and you watch, and I know women won't pay attention, but men will. And if the woman does, I'll be surprised and I'll shut up. Because those women did not care about the man's point of view. There was one little idiot that kept going, I want to go to the past. Well, go to the past and shut up. The way things should be, men should be men, and what women should be women. What that means is you should be you, and he should be him. And if you're attracted to him, and if he's attracted to you, the thing is that you have to make the thing clear. And they started going, well, I can't wear it. This didn't have anything to do with you, sweetheart. If you want to look like a whore, that's your business. But you also have to remember where you're at and where you're not. If you're in Hollywood Boulevard, they're going to treat you like a whore. But if you're down that more expensive alley, they're going to see you that way, but they're not going to treat you that way. And that's the difference. It's where the manners are, is where they're going to stay. And unless your child has been brought up with manners like me, they're going to disrespect you. And that's the difference. I've never seen the difference because I'm not brought up that way to see the difference and to verify the difference. But women are determined to force men to see them that way. I had a woman that screamed at me, don't open the door for me. I said, okay. And I walked through the door. And after I held the door for other people, other women. And she said to me, you're trying to oppress me. I said, no, I was trying to give you respect like my mother told me to do. You don't want the respect? That is fine with me. I have nothing to say. Only you do. And I walked away from her. Why? Because there was no purpose for me to try to destroy her mentally and verbally. But the reality is, I'm not going to let you put me down no matter what. I don't care if the police don't like it. I don't care if the courts don't like it. When it comes to respect, it goes both ways. And if you can't handle it, that's tough titty. Too bad. I really don't care. See, I don't care what women think about me because I'm not going around trying to oppress anybody. But when it comes to being people's friends, when you're my friend because you're my friend, not because you're a woman, not because you're a man, not because you're transgendered. No, it's because you're my friend and your name is your name. I don't try to oppress anybody from any sex. But the way it is today, you cannot tell a woman, you look beautiful today, without women taking it the wrong way. And I was working in my department, and one of the girls went and got herself done. And this was right in the middle where the switching of the attitudes were. And I saw her, she looked beautiful, but I didn't say anything. I continued to clean. And they said, Manuel, aren't you going to say something? And I said, no, I really had no plans on saying anything because nowadays, if you say boo to a woman, it's taken improper. I said, but she looks beautiful. And that was it. They were all like shocked. But it was true. Afterwards, one of the girls said, you're right. You're not supposed to say that anymore in a business place. You cannot be nice to a person anymore in the business place. You cannot tell somebody how nice they look or how beautiful their eyes look with the expensive cosmetics they've paid for or whatever, because women take it the wrong way. You're not trying to hit on them. You're not trying to bully them. You're just saying, you look beautiful today. And that's it. Now, if I say it, I'm safe. Because guess what? They know I don't want them. But if someone else says it, there's a drama. There was a group of us. We sit together and we're gay and we're talking. And what one of the girls chose to tell me, and I was going back to work, and she goes, you know what you guys were talking about, it's considered sexual harassment to me. I said, no. I said, go tell them and see how fast I'll stomp your sexual harassment crap out. I said, every person at that table was either gay or lesbian. And we don't want you. But go tell them that, and I'll tell her that you went and said if I didn't have sex with you, you'll turn it in that I tried to have sex with you. And everybody here knows that I'm gay. So, who do you think's gonna win? She shut up. She goes, you're right. And I said, I know I'm right. Why? Because the gays that were there weren't hitting on her. And the lesbians that were there had significant others. So they weren't hitting on her either. She wasn't part of our group. She could have sat on the other side because we were at the farthest end. but she chose to sit near us. And she was choosing to harass us. And that's the thing. I see it all the time in the female world. All the harassment women do to men. And they expect to get away with it. And they do. Except for with me. Because I treat you the same as I treat everybody else. And if I'm not going to take it from a man, I'm surely not going to take it from a woman. I won't take a punch, and I won't take verbal abuse from a woman either. I may not say anything verbally disgusting or whatever, but at the same time, I'll tell them to go to hell and don't talk to me. You have no purpose to talk to me after this at this point. You are no longer a living being so far as I'm concerned. Bye-bye. And there, it's over. But that's what I've dealt with. And that's how I deal with it. But each person's different. I respect everybody. I just won't allow to be disrespected. You disrespect me, you're gone. And what I mean is, you're out of the circle. But there's just too many women that want, and they want us to give. And guess what? The men do that. And the ones that give are the ones that the women don't want. And the ones that don't bleep if you survive or whatever, those are the ones the women want. That's not my problem. I don't care. I treat all people as equals. If you need help, I help you, whether you're male or female. But this other bullshit is bullshit. And if you watch that, you can hear all the stupidity. There was a story about the guy who didn't fight back, and he was brought up that way. And the woman kills him. She goes to prison. And they said, what happened? He's a strong man. And then the people that knew him said, oh yeah, but he won't hit a woman. Because he was told that he couldn't. Well, I wasn't. And if you come at me with the knife, I'll take the knife away from you and I'll stab you with it to protect myself. No matter what sex you are, or gun, or whatever. The point is, I don't go look for drama. But if it comes to me, I will protect myself. And everybody should be like that, whether you're a woman or a man. But I don't know. To me, it just seemed like women went there pretending that they wanted to hear. But no, they wanted you to know that their point, and that was it. And she goes, well, I didn't hear any stories. Well, it was because they didn't have any stories to share with you, or they didn't want to share it with you. Why? Because they could see you could care less. But what do you think? Give me a message. See the video. And let me know. But remember to subscribe to my channel. Leave me a message. Tell me on a subject you'd like us to talk about, to listen about. Put the hand up. Don't forget to do it early, because I always do. I forget to do it, and then later on I won't go back. And remember, AA, see you in church.